Good morning. Welcome all in, everyone, to a new day, a new stream, a new HAWC Report, a new set of cards, packable cards for you to go out and get. How's everyone doing? Dish, good to see you back from your little bit of broadcasting there with the weekend extravaganza in North Carolina. What an opportunity. What a great time you must have had. Not like going overseas, I would imagine, but the jet lag, I'm sure, is a lot more manageable to deal with. Welcome in, everyone. Hope you are doing well. And music's still playing, is it? We got it on loop? We do. Okay, well, just to pump you up a little bit more. There we go. Music is off. So welcome all in, everyone, from the TWIPT Thursday releases. And don't forget, TWIPT will be back on tonight. So if you didn't get all your pack drops, if you didn't get the full drops, tune in tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can resume your pack drops there for the time that you may have missed, or if you tuned in a little bit late, or if you didn't tune at all and you're just on Twitch now, you can check it out tonight, the rebroadcast, 9 p.m. Eastern. So again, welcome all in. If you've been patiently, waiting on Twitch and watching the screen, when is Grand Theft Auto 6? When is Grand Theft Auto 6? And then you just came across this stream. Welcome all in. I'm Laptop Pound, streaming a few times a week, as you can see on the schedule there. And let's roll. Let's get on with it. A few housekeeping duties, first of all. As you know, Friday is one of the big streaming moments typically for Out of the Park developments when they stream the TWIPT Showdown. However, because of the time of the year and football season, DishNet is off with his other job activities. And so the OOTP streaming of Twitch has been put on hold for a while. However, many of the affiliates have been filling in over the last month or a couple of months. And tomorrow, I am filling in with my good friend Ezra Denny. Ezra and I will be filling in tomorrow on the TWIP Showdown. So go enter before it fills up. Go fill in look for the TWIP Showdown on Friday. Get a team in there. Have your name called out tomorrow by Ezra or myself. And yeah, we're going to have a good old time. We have, Remembrance Day, Veterans Day, Anzac Day in the Oceanic area. So gonna have a few stories about MLB players and the war situation and those that may have participated in the war, and also celebrate a little bit with the World Series. This is the first Friday showdown since the Texas Rangers won their World Series. So in recognition of both of those events, we have special drops coming tomorrow. So if you get all your affiliate drops before the TWIP Showdown, you will get extra drops by tuning in. And every 15 minutes, as usual, you will get those drops. Plus, there will be some giveaways. There will be some packs to give away, some PT Plus 1 month memberships to give away. Yeah, Ezra and I, we're going all out tomorrow, and we're gonna give you guys an opportunity to win some things. So again, tune in tomorrow, or tomorrow, I guess, 8 p.m. Eastern is when we'll get kicked off. Probably about 15 minutes earlier. I'll probably start about 7:45 and to do a bounty before we get into the roll call. And then, we're going to have a good old time, including not call your shot, because we can't do call your shot, but we've got a little twist on it. Stay tuned for that. We're going to have a little twist as part of one of the giveaways. So again, some extra packs tomorrow, guys. Get those packs. More opportunities of getting some of those Baseball Reference Series 4 cards. So packs every 15 minutes, and then at the 1.5 hour mark, and then the 2 hour mark, and the 2.5 hour mark, there'll be standard and silver packs given out. So what a day tomorrow. You can get your affiliate packs. You can get your any OOTP development packs if they're streaming tomorrow. Wink, wink, maybe. And then you can get your TWIP Showdown packs in the evening. Yeah, looking forward to that. Also, I am back on Saturday. Saturday's my next show with On the Battlefield with the Gladiators. 90 minutes where we open 201 packs, and again, give you guys a chance to to win in a little giveaway. But today, as always, we've got packs to give out as well. We've got the bounty coming up. We've got trivia coming up. We are not going to be doing the matrix today. Again, we might pick that up again next week. But we got packs. We got packs here, guys. Good to see you. What's going on in the chat? We got who is this guy? Isradini in the chat saying one of us will pronounce it properly. Yeah. There's no guarantees. There never is in life. I mean, 90% chance that we'll pronounce team names properly. Please make it simple. Joe Buck Yourself is a real easy name for me to pronounce. But there are some out there like that, I'm going to give that one to Ezra. Ezra is much better at that. And probably younger too. Good to see you. Don't cut the D Block Dragon. EVC is in the chat. Don't forget, check out EVC Saturday morning at 10 p.m. Eastern with his Guess the Set winners. He's got his Pack-a-Palooza. He's got hats. He's got sirens. He's got everything that New York can offer. Almost everything. Well, Chess Safari, good to see you, my friend, in the chat as well. Jeff Steele Flex, Pop Stongoria. Woo, Pop Stongoria. I'm sure you're still recovering from the hangover from last night. We'll talk about that in a sec. All right, getting on to the little bit of the icebreaker here. Again, we will not have Charles today. Charles is in the air. He is on a plane somewhere, making his journey back from America, where I don't know if he's smiling as much in this picture, but he travels quite a bit back and forth with his job between Europe and North America. So he will not be able to make an appearance today. We're hoping to have Charles back next week. So Charles, if you watch this on the VOD, I hope you're not in witness protection. Charles is a big Flyer fan. So when he said, Lap, I can't make it today, I'm in the air. I kind of question that because last night, the San Jose Sharks won their first game of the hockey season. It took 12 games, but they won their first game and they beat Philadelphia. So Charles may not be on today because he might feel a little embarrassed that his team was the first to lose to the Sharks. So yeah, they lose 2-1. The Sharks snap their 11-game losing streak, the longest to start a season in NHL history. So always these records are broken all the time. So congratulations, San Jose. Congratulations, Pop Stongoria. And congratulations to Patrick Marleau, to Dave Stieb, who last night were inducted into the San Jose Hall of Fame. That's right. My guy, Dave Stieb, and Pop's guy, Patrick Marleau, as well as a couple other athletes were inducted into the San Jose Hall of Fame. So good to see. And since we're on a hockey moment, and because there has been a recent Out of the Park Development game release, we got to give it a little bit of love. So one more time, let's watch the trailer for the brand spanking new, released 48 hours ago, Franchise Hockey Manager 10.
By the NHL. Welcome to the next generation of FHM. Play the game your way. Custom games now allow you to import real teams or entire leagues from anywhere in the world or from our historical game. And you can now set up promotion and relegation systems for your custom leagues. Gain more control with our reworked trade system, including new team needs and player shopping systems. Beware the media. Manage media relations that can affect your team's happiness and the opinions of your fans and owner. Bring more hockey history to life by traveling all the way back to 1909 and the newly playable National Hockey Association, complete with 7-man hockey. college hockey has expanded. American college teams now have to contend with the transfer portal, and the Canadian college teams are now playable. Updated for the 2023-2024 season for every NHL club, as well as international, minor, college, and junior leagues. Get to know the players better with prospect tournaments, youth tournaments, and new scouting options. And so much more. Franchise Hockey Manager 10, celebrating 10 years of hockey strategy with our fans. All on the only NHL licensed PC game. Releasing November 7th, 2023.
All right, so there you go. The new release of Franchise Hockey Manager 10. It is now available on the Out of the Park Developments website. It is on sale for the first week here. The release discount, there it is, $35.99 if you're in the United States. Of course, if you're in Canada, you're going to pay $40.94. And, if you're in Europe, let's say you live in Germany, you're going to pay 35.99C with a couple lines through it. So yeah, euros, I guess. You're going to pay 35, it's funny they use commas and not periods for their money there. If you live in France, it's the same price. You're not going to be discriminated against. You're still going to pay $35.99. And even if you live in Poland, it looks more expensive. It looks like, holy smokes, those people in Poland, how are they going to afford that? $195.29 for their release discount. But I'm sure the conversion works out. And if you know someone on the Canary Islands, they too can purchase this game for €36. So it's available all over the world. Spain, we've got Austria, we've got the Isle of Man, who I guess are still in pounds. And we've even got, where else do we want to go? Luxembourg, all on the euro. So go get Out of the Park Developments FHM10 available now on a streaming service near you, on Steam, on the PC, Fast Spring, or you can bundle it up if you still need OOTP 24 and save a little bit on both of them. All right. As far as, FHM and Perfect Team, I would love it. I would stream it. I would really like Connor McDavid Perfect Cards. However, again, got to remember FHM's only been out for 10 versions now. OOTP Baseball, it took 19. Perfect Team didn't come out until OOTP 19. FHM is still growing. It's getting better every year. They're adding new things in every year. And who knows, maybe in another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versions, we will have something like Perfect Team. But again, other than maybe Canada and Europe, I don't know how much interest in America in hockey there is. America likes their football, their basketball, their baseball. Canada, hockey and curling are kind of number one. And I don't know, in Europe, it's probably football. And I don't know what would come second in Europe. Maybe rugby? I don't know. Maybe curling? They play a lot of sports over in Europe. So again, promoting that on Monday on the hockey stream at 9:30 Eastern on Monday. Boiled Egg won a copy of Franchise Hockey Manager 10. Be giving out another copy of it next Monday at 9:30 on the Black Aces NHL podcast right here on Twitch. All right, let's move this along. Well, the HAWC Report has featured familiar faces. It's featured a guy named Your Kidneys. It's featured Charles, otherwise known as Warbot, currently in hiding. And over the last couple of weeks, I've had the pleasure of having another person on, analyze the cards, playing some trivia and some bounties. So welcome back to the show for the second week in a row, Mr. Isidafo. How are you doing today, Isidafo?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you.
Doing pretty well. Busy. I mean, are you a 9 to 5 worker? Do you work like Monday to Friday, the grind
Um,
nine?
I'm a bit more flexible, I guess. I work at home most of the time, and it's a bit
Oh,
kind of whenever I have time, sort of. I guess
nice.
it's pretty
Well,
convenient.
as we mentioned last week, from the great city and state of New York is where Isidafo is from, and we kind of talked about. I mean, I have to ask because everyone in chat wants to know: did you go to the ice cream museum?
I did not go to the ice cream museum. It's still still new. I've had ice cream since then in the past week, but I have not been to the ice cream museum.
Well, that'll be a riveting conversation. How many scoops? Are you a 1 or 2 scoop person? No, we won't talk about that. So, I mean, you've been in New York for. I know you're not originally from New York, right? You're from somewhere in the Midwest.
Well, yeah. I mean, I grew up in Minneapolis. I was born in New York, but my family sort of moved away relatively soon after I was born.
All right. Well, I've never been to New York, but I'm sure you see tourists everywhere that you go.
That's for sure.
And as a person that's lived in New York, sometimes did you kind of like eye roll at tourists because there's so many of them that ask the same kind of questions?
It's really not the question so much. The biggest thing I think for tourists in New York is don't stop walking randomly in the middle of the sidewalk. That's what, at least for me, that's the thing that gets me. If you just kind of like don't stop randomly in the middle of the sidewalk, I'm pretty happy about it.
Well, and EBC saying, like, seriously, who goes to the ice cream museum? Like it's like he doesn't know anyone that's gone to the ice cream museum, but it's on the map, so I got to talk about it. So tourists, they stop on the sidewalk and they're probably taking a lot of pictures, right?
Well, I've actually recently, in the past 2 years, I've started to see people actually stop in the middle of the street to take pictures too, which really don't do that. But even on the sidewalk, it's bad.
In the movies, when I watch movies like Law and Order and TV shows like that are based out of New York, I see cab drivers that are just like impatient and honk their horns and they'll run you over if they have a chance. Is that accurate?
It's changed a little bit, I think, since Uber and Lyft have started, because now the cabs have more competition and the Ubers and Lyfts don't have the same like rush to get fares as much, it feels like. So I think it's a little better than it once was. But yeah, I mean, there is, if you're a taxi, it's just as many fares as you can get. That's the way to make it. So you got to rush. Time is money, as they say.
And what's your main form of commuting? Because in such a big city like that, I'm sure that, a lot of the population don't own cars because everything's so close and they use public transit or Lyft or Uber. What's kind of your way usually of getting around? Do you bike? Do you walk? What's the Isidafo way? I
mean, I walk wherever I can. That's sort of close enough. Walking is great, but otherwise the subway is my preferred mode. The bus I don't like because you get stuck in traffic and it takes forever.
Subway, yeah, I guess the subway. And I just noticed something on the map, the Museum of Moving Image. Have you been there?
That one I actually have been to a while ago, but I have been there.
All right. Well, what? Give us a brief rundown of this.
Boy, it's been a long time. They've just, I think they got a lot of different like things from different movies and kind of some displays of movie making, and I think there's even some things where you can kind of make your own. Yeah, like this artifacts and whatnot.
Like honestly, be honest here, Isidafo. No one's watching. Be honest. Have you taken a selfie with Miss Piggy?
I have not. No selfies with Miss Piggy, unfortunately. If you go to Times Square, I bet you could find someone in a Miss Piggy costume. I wouldn't be shocked.
It's that animated in Times Square, is it?
There are a lot of people in a lot of weird costumes at Times Square. Yeah.
And even on non-Halloween days.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Good. Well, the Muppets seem to be a big part of this museum because, I mean, I'm honored. I'm sure Ezra's honored that both of us are featured in the museum here as puppets. But Yeah, it's good to see. Maybe you can take a selfie with Ezra and myself one day next time you go. Well,
Yeah.
last question about New York for today. Again, tourists tend to go to very similar places. They're going to they're going to Statue of Liberty. They're going to the Empire State Building. They're going to Broadway. What are the hidden gems that you would recommend to a tourist visiting New York that they might not think about?
Hidden gems. Well, it's not really hidden, but you definitely go to the Met if you're ever going to be in New York.
Go to the Mets?
The Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Central Park. I mean, Central Park is probably the biggest one. There's just a lot of, you can walk around there. There's a lot of nice stuff. Definitely that's a good place to just walk around and experience it. But I think the biggest thing being a tourist in New York is just like walk around on the street and kind of just experience it, like more than any like specific attraction.
Is it because again, you see in movies, you see all these kind of stuff. Is it safe, or is it like at night? Do you feel comfortable walking on the streets?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty safe now. Like it didn't used to be a while ago. Yeah, the High Line EVC says that's another good one. I like the High Line too. It's on the west side, kind of far down, but it's got really good views. Yeah, I mean it's pretty safe now. Like it used to be that there were areas of the city, the parks that were kind of just like super dangerous, but for the most part, no, it's pretty decent. All
right, so here's a little bit of the High Line that EVC has recommended.
Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good recommendation.
Is it just like a walking path?
I believe it used to be a train track. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong about that. And they turned it into like a sort of a long park, so people run there, and there's some good stuff. Yeah. All
right. Well, there you go. A little bit more about New York. If you happen to go to the New York area, look up Isidafo. Look up EVC. I'm sure they'd be willing to meet you. And Ezra, I'm sorry. I apologize for the Muppet reference. And I know you must be feeling really down because the Elmer Frick collection is temporarily closed. I don't know. Do you know, Isidafo, what this is all about? Who is Frick?
It's an art museum, I believe, from a private collector's collection at a Victorian museum after he died, I believe.
Oh, wow! That must be worth a pretty penny in New York dollars there.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but I would guess you're right.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. There's a little bit about where Isidafo's from. And did you get to Long Island at all?
Not really. It's kind of far, and there's not a lot there besides residential stuff. Though Queens, Queens and Brooklyn are both technically part of Long Island. So as far as I understand it.
Do the Islanders still play in Long Island somewhere?
I don't. Where do they play now? That's a good question. They played at the Barclays Center for a little bit, I think, and
yeah.
I think they moved to some new place. I'm not entirely sure.
All right, so there you go. There's a little bit more about New York City, where Isidafo and EVC reside, and a few other OOTP players, I'm sure, are from New York. If you're from New York, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat if you're from New York, because sometimes we don't shout out where people are actually playing OOTP from. And if you're just looking to pick up one on the card shop, the next couple days is your best option, because people rip spotlights, the price, the market, supply, demand. You might be able to pick one up for a decent price if you're looking for league, theme team tournaments. Yeah, this is kind
absolutely.
of the best 48 hours to look for spotlight cards.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go and talk about our beginner help. I always like to offer some advice and have my guests offer advice as well. And we've covered this before, Isidafo, early in the cycle. We talked about what to look for in cards, but I think it's time to maybe readdress it a little bit, because we have had a lot of new players come into the game. And on one of my YouTube videos, I did have this comment from our HAWC Report last week. And this viewer said, That was super helpful with the meta and cheaper meta cards. If you guys do that again, it would be super helpful to talk about what you look for in each position a little bit. It was interesting that he said one all blue card was a trap card. So you made a mark last week, Isidafo, and help this beginner out understand what a trap card is and a little bit about the meta. But go
ahead. No. I mean, I definitely want to talk about Langford because I think actually it sort of illustrates the point pretty decently, which is I think the card he's talking about here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the first thing, which is very important, like the two main points when looking for cards are that cards don't exist in a vacuum. Like cards are good or bad in comparison to other cards, not on their own. And kind of in two ways, the first on price, and the second on this kind of league normalization stuff, which we'll touch on in a bit, I guess. And the other important thing is that, I'm going to say some stuff about, how valuable defense is at various positions and this and that. But it's very important to remember that every card that you play on defense has to play offense too.
Okay.
And
let's what I've got is a bunch of slides here. I've got one card from each position, and maybe if I just show a random card from each position, you go a little bit more in depth about what you're looking for that position. So let's start with catcher.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously everywhere you're always looking for bat, of course, because every card has to hit. That's every position player has to hit. So the bat's going to be important no matter what, and that's important. Catcher, really the most important defensive rating is catchability. Catcher arm is useful. It doesn't do nothing, but catchability is certainly a lot more valuable. This is not to say that you should just pick cards with the highest catchability and put them on your roster. Otherwise, everyone would be playing 40 Jose Molina everywhere, and they're not. The bat obviously matters, and you're going to be willing to give up a few points of catchability for a better bat. But catchability.
I think Jeff Mathis was the exception, right? Like his bat wasn't great, probably wasn't even average, but his catcher ability was so much better than other cards that you kind of had to use him earlier in the cycle.
I mean, the thing is with Mathis, playing him in league was sort of mostly a joke. It wasn't really ever the best option in league, I don't think. But actually, at the time Mathis was released, he was an above average hitter in Iron.
Right.
So, he had a ton of catchability and he was a good hitter. So that's why that card was so powerful.
And Mark says that Mathis won a PEL Gold Glove for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he did stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that, that doesn't make the card good necessarily. Like,
and did he hit 140? That's the question. Is what did he hit? Yeah. All right.
I definitely one thing to say about defense, and I think it's true for every position actually, is that the game sort of understates the value of defense. Like the ZR you see in game is kind of too low everywhere, or too close to zero. It's probably more accurate. Generally, kind of the rule of thumb that I would go by, if you're not going to kind of export data and do it yourself, is to multiply all the ZR numbers by like 1.5. And that'll get you a lot closer to the real number.
All right. So catcher ability, the first thing your eye should go to, and then you want to make sure it has a decent enough bat.
Yeah, I mean, the decent enough bat thing applies to every single position. Like, we got this new Ray Ordonez today, which I guess we'll look at in a second. Let me get the shortstop. And that glove is amazing, and the card is really, really bad, and you shouldn't play it at anything.
Okay, so
even though shortstop defense is very important.
I think you bring up a good point, because so many players that play this game, I don't know, maybe overvalue defense more than they should, or they don't value hitting as much as they should. But, I see a lot of people that play cards. I remember, early on, I think it was a Gagne, a bronze shortstop or something, that was just lights out defensively, but couldn't hit.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that kind of happens is, we kind of think about, we have some big defensive shortstop. It has zero bat, but it's actually worse than zero bat. They have negative bats, very negative bats. And there's very different levels of negative bat. Like there's a card like this Ray Ordonez that is basically going to hit zero. And hitting 0 doesn't mean you get no value; it means you get huge negative value.
Okay. But it's, where do you find that? Where do you find that line between giving up defense for offense? Like,
well, that's the tricky part, and that's kind of why so many people export data out of the game, because really the game doesn't actually give you a way to do that unless you're actually doing work on your own. Like, if you just look at what's in the game, you will never really be able to get a good idea of where the balance is, which is difficult to do.
And catching, is it often a platoon situation where you're looking for the best versus left versus right?
I mean, a lot of the time, yes, because you always do have to play 2 catchers, and usually you want 2 guys who are dedicated catchers. So a lot of the time, yes, you do want a platoon, but I mean, sometimes one card is so much better that you just want to have him play as much as you can.
All right, let's go to first base. First base, I've just got the Rafael Palmeiro card. Again, I just picked random cards at each position here. What are you looking for? What do you suggest for beginners that are looking for a first baseman?
So defense does matter at first, but it matters a very tiny amount. Pretty much, you just want the biggest bat you can get that the game will allow you to stick at first base. The game has to actually let you put him at first, but other than that, just whoever hits the best, just stick him there. Pretty much. Especially
now for beginners, we're talking league here, but it's likely different for tournaments based on the tournament that you're playing. When you say big bat, we've got 1, 2, 3, 6 categories here. Again, for the beginners, most of the people that have played this game for a while know what to look for. But for the beginners, in terms of the bat, what do you suggest they look for?
That's a very difficult question. So the least important of the ratings, at least kind of in what they do in the game, there's been some kind of new stuff that maybe it's not this way, as contact. Contact is kind of not a real rating in some sense. If you're a new player, certainly that's one I would just kind of throw out the window. The most important other ratings are BABIP, power, and eye in some order. But which order is going to depend a lot on the environment and the era and things like that.
Ballpark and all those kind of things. But
the other thing,
it's still, bread and butter still power eye.
I mean, power eye still does really well, and power eye tends to scale back into like the 1970s, 1980s, 1960s a lot better than BABIP does. But BABIP is a useful rating. You shouldn't just ignore it. Like you were,
right.
Early in the cycle, it was fine to just ignore it, but now it does actually matter.
So first baseman, you can kind of give up on defense. You're looking for the best bat possible that plays first base.
Yep.
Second base, Daniel Murphy. We'll look at 83 gold. Daniel Murphy. I've always been, when I've watched videos and other people talk about importance of ratings, I always look at turn double play as a key one for a second baseman, and range.
Yeah, those are definitely the 2 that I would point to. I mean, the thing is that infield error kind of doesn't matter a lot at any position for the most part, as far as I can tell. But infield arm and infield range are actually sort of difficult to split apart, because it's hard to tell the difference between a play that the guy didn't get to or a play that he got to and didn't throw to first well enough. So arm is a good rating to look at, but probably not so much at second as at short and third.
Okay. And I think Erie brings up a good point too, that, you talk about getting a big bat, and Frank Thomas, in every version of the game always has a big bat, but his defense is generally very, very bad. But do you still go if Frank Thomas has the best bat, even though his defense is horrendous? Is he going to...
Yeah, defense at first is kind of something that's different between league and tournaments. In tournaments, it really barely matters. In league, it does begin to matter because the offensive environment's kind of lower, and you have this normalization process, which will actually sort of make the bad defenders play even worse than they look. But still, Frank Thomas is still totally fine first baseman in perfect league.
All right. So tournaments not as much important, but league play more important. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go on to shortstop. I got Zach Cozart here from Series 2. Again, shortstop. Range.
Yeah, you care a lot about range, definitely. You should also care about arm and double play. I think error, again, is kind of not that useful. But all the other three at shortstop, I think, are good to have.
Of all the infield, is this the one you're willing to sacrifice offense the most, or not really?
Definitely the one I'm willing to sacrifice offense the most, though of course it depends on the card, right? We had this Derek Jeter, for example, which had not a lot of defense that people were playing because the bat was just so much better than every other shortstop option. So it's always like everything's dependent on what the other options are. Right? If the other option has slightly worse defense and a much better bat, you're still going to go with that. It's not like defense is the only thing at shortstop. It's really important, but it's not all that matters.
I know. Charles, when I think tournament batch 2, who was that shortstop that was just lights out defensively?
Batch 2.
Might have been batch 1, but was it
Dave Bancroft? Is that the one?
Yes, Dave Bancroft. And again, he didn't have much of a bat, but his glove was just so powerful that he used Bancroft. And then we started to see, I think, more managers start to use Bancroft. So there's a case where early in the game, you sacrifice the bat to get that strong glove.
Yeah, I mean, Bancroft's bat at the time actually wasn't as horrible as it looked because his eye was so big. But even in tournaments, Bancroft never was really that great because tournaments, again, the offensive environment is higher and the defense values tend to be more squished together than in league.
And how about tournament versus league play for a shortstop? Anything different you're looking for?
I mean, pretty much every position, you're going to care more about bat relative to glove in tournaments than in league.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much true everywhere.
Important in tournaments. Okay, good to know. And of course, it depends on the era and what you're looking for in the bat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In dead ball, you will care about defense a lot. And in other stuff, you won't. In the 90s, you won't.
All right, now we're getting to the most controversial position. But you know what? Charles has his opinion. Others have their opinion. But your opinion in terms of what you're looking for in a third baseman, it sounds like from what I've heard you talk about before, it's almost like a first baseman where you're looking for just the best bat, except maybe in league play where the glove is more important.
Yeah, in tournaments, I basically think of third base as the second first base. And I will stick basically anyone there as long as they have the game lets you, and they can hit well. In league, it does matter quite a lot more. The same kind of way that first base matters a lot more in league. Pretty much the same reason, actually.
And is it arm that's most important that you would look for, or does range still play a factor?
It is more arm probably. So turn double play at third base, I think, is more or less a useless rating. It actually just does almost nothing, as far as I can tell. But arm is useful, range is useful, error is useful. Probably all arm and range somewhat equal, and error a lot less, I would say.
All right. And Erie, we did talk about the catchers, and then Isidafo mentioned that catcher ability is really important, but you still want bat. You definitely want to focus on defense, but you're willing to give up a little defense for some batting. But we didn't mention about tournaments versus league play. Is it the same thing? Tournaments, it's not as important for defense?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the thing is that you're going to be willing to do that at every position. It's not just catcher, right? Like I'm very happy to give up 2 range at shortstop if I can move up from a bad hitter to a really good one. It's every card you have to look at. They have to do everything, so you have to look at everything. You can't just pretend they don't have to hit because they do. Yeah.
Let's move to the outfield. And I guess maybe left field and right field. Let's talk about them first because they're pretty much probably the same kind of profile looking for. I have heard that, you can hide people better in left field with poor defense. What's your opinion about the corners?
I think that's sort of not, I don't really agree with that. I think actually probably it's easier to hide guys in right field than left in some ways. But corner outfield defense is someplace where the game really does not do a very good job of telling you how impactful it is. It really does matter quite a lot. It's not like first or third base where the defense is not super relevant. Defense in corner outfield is important, and you should not ignore it.
What's more important, range or arm or both for corner?
Range is definitely more important then arm. Error is next to useless in the outfield.
And then are you factoring at all anywhere in your outfield speed, or is it just bat with defense?
No, I mean, as far as I understand it, speed is kind of a misnamed rating, and speed should really be called something like aggressiveness. It doesn't actually, as far as I understand it, have any impact on defense at all. It really is just about how often do you go for extra bases, how often do you try to steal, that sort of thing.
Okay. All right. So both corner outfields, you would say invest in a good defensive with offensive, and they're both equally as valuable in terms of left field and right field. In fact, you say right's probably the one where you can hide the weaker player.
Probably, though, again, these are not positions where defense is like, you just should ignore it. Of course, if you have someone who hits the ball unbelievably well, they can't go somewhere else, then fine. But
yeah,
okay, that's the case everywhere.
And maybe the most important position in the game, some people would argue, is your center fielder. Some would say shortstop, some would say catcher, some would say all three are equal. Give us a little bit of a insight into what you're looking for your center fielder.
Range, mostly, and arm. I mean, error still does almost nothing in the outfield, kind of the same as left and right, because there's just so few of them. But yeah, I mean, this is where your best defender should go if he's allowed to play it. Of course, the bat still matters, like everywhere, but this is definitely a position where defense is very important.
All right, so there you go, beginners. And again, when you play in tournaments, if a player's eligible for more than one position, they are fully trained. You can play them as a fully trained up to whatever their limit is. In league play, you have to actually put them into the lineup in their off position to train them up. And that takes a long time. So Isidafo, is it worth it training someone in their off position if that second position ultimately will be higher by 5, 10, 15 points?
In my opinion, it is almost never worth training players, with very rare exceptions. So I think probably the only exception recently has been Joe Sewell. I think it's worth training Joe Sewell at second, but it's very rare because basically in order to think that training a player is good, you have to think that player will be in the meta at their position for like a month, probably at least, because it takes that long to train him. And while they're training, they play really, really horribly. So you really have to think that card will stay on your roster for a very long time and be willing to give up a number of wins in whatever league level you're at the time. So it's very rarely worth it. Yeah.
And finally, pitchers, for new players that are looking to add pitchers to their rotation. First with league play, the new addition of pitcher BABIP has changed the way that we look at cards this year. Absolutely. Last year they added hitter BABIP, I think, for the first time. And now they got the pitcher BABIP. So I've always been of mind that, of course, it's era dependent for many things, but pitcher BABIP by far the first thing you look at, and then depending on the area, you're looking for stuff for control. So
it's kind of changing a bit, actually, at some levels. So I don't know what the best way to say this is, but so in league, for example, right now, and this often happens towards the end of cycles. I think it's just kind of the way that real MLB players were. That a lot of the right-handed hitters are a lot more driven by power, and the left-handed hitters are a lot more driven by BABIP. And so it sort of becomes the case that you care a lot more about the home run rating versus righties and the BABIP rating versus lefties. And then in tournaments, when there was this change early in the cycle to kind of bring BABIP back in line with real baseball, there was some concern that, at some stage that PBABIP was kind of already close to as high as it could go, but BABIP wasn't. So once hitter BABIP started getting up a lot higher, that the overall BABIP would rise a lot and the PBABIP wouldn't be able to do enough to counteract it. And I think we're sort of there. BABIP in tournaments has been, especially at the top level, has been kind of consistently rising for for some time now. It's now well over 300. I think it's close to 330 actually in open. And the PB average doesn't do enough anymore, and so you have to start preventing home runs to keep the guys who are getting singles from scoring. So
let me. Did I hear you right that now we're looking for in pitchers, for instance, the Bumgartner that we have, we're looking for strong home run suppression versus right-handed batters and strong pitcher BABIP versus left-handed batters. Did I hear that right?
In perfect league, I think that's pretty true. But that's just because the perfect league meta is very much the same. Everyone is kind of running the same 15 or 20 cards on the roster, and a lot of the shapes are very similar. And so you can much more tailor the pitchers you want to those specific cards. But in Diamond League or lower, you're going to get a lot more sort of random stuff that isn't in the perfect league meta, and it won't quite be that way.
All right. And how about a reliever? Any difference in what you're looking for in a reliever?
Not really. I mean, the thing to keep in mind with relievers is that when you convert starters to relievers, they will get a stuff boost or occasionally a stuff penalty. It's unfortunately hidden. So you can't actually see the stuff going up, but they do. A reliever and a starter with the same stuff will not strike out the same amount of batters in the bullpen. The same printed stuff, I should say. And that's generally dependent on a number of things, it's very hard to actually figure out exactly which pitches, how many of them there are, how big the pitches are, the velocity, a lot of different things that are actually very, very hard to determine unless you kind of are given it.
If I remember correctly, a couple versions ago, they showed you the stuff increase, didn't they, when you moved someone to the bullpen?
So it used to be shown, and then they said that it had been removed from the game and wasn't being displayed. But everyone who's ever looked at any of this data, I think, has come to the same conclusion, which is that it, in fact, hasn't been removed from the game. It's just been removed from the display, which is a bit unfortunate.
Right. And from what I see people and managers do, typically as a cycle goes on, you're using a lot more starters in relief than actual relievers. Unless you're the top end relievers, you're putting starters in the bullpen for that stuff boost. Is that right?
Yeah, a lot of the time. I mean, this cycle we've gotten a lot more pure relievers that are closer to the meta than in previous cycles, I think. So you do see some of the top relievers, like this Eric Gagne and this new Zach Britton, that are quite a lot better than like the 6th and 7th starters, even with the stuff boost. But the stuff boost is real, and yeah, it's important.
All right. Well, there you go. I hope those of you that are new to the game picked up a few insights there in terms of the shape of a card that you're looking at for different positions, which ratings are a little bit more important. So thanks for that, Isidafo.
Oh, I don't know if you want to look at Langford quickly too, because that one might be.
Well, we'll get to that. We got a break coming up here.
Oh, sure.
And then I want to get on to the trivia, because some people have been waiting around to show their expertise or their lack of expertise with the trivia. So trivia right after the break, everyone. Be back in 2 minutes to test your knowledge. We're back. Welcome all in, everyone. And we'll get back to the trivia in just a little bit. But we do want to cover a couple cards because, hey, we got to cover some of the cards that were released today. So we'll do a little bit and then back to trivia. Then we'll check in on the bounty and a few more cards. And as we always do, we'll end off with our 9-inning contest where we open some packs and assign some points and see who has to buy a spotlight pack. All right, cards. Well, I'm a big bronze player, and there were a couple bronze cards that came out today that I desperately would like some advice on if they are, cards I want to use in my quicks. And the first one was, or one of them was Harvey Kuhn. Now, it wasn't shown on screen, but posted in the Discord. Spore posted all the cards that weren't shown. So this one right here, interesting because the splits are better against lefties for some and against righties for other. And I always find these cards intriguing when it's not just one-sided splits. Again, defense, he's not your best shortstop defensively by far in bronze, but I don't know. Is he in the consideration? Which comparables, if any, do we have for bronze?
Really gonna play at shortstop, even without. So the thing is, at shortstop and bronze, we have these three LEs: Ozzie Smith, Arky Vaughan, and Kevin Stocker, that are the three best shortstops. But I think Keane is even behind those guys, so he's kind of only a DH, and probably only a DH VL, really. Even there, I'm not super excited about this card. It seems like sort of maybe it's okay, but it's not going to be an important card, and probably one that a lot of people won't even run.
Yeah, bronze shortstops are so strong, like you mentioned, Arky, Stalker, Ozzie Smith. Like, there's just so many options at short that I was just curious about the weird splits there. If that would come, like, is he better against lefties or against righties? Like, I guess righties.
He's definitely better against lefties.
Lefties.
It's mostly the eye split and the power split. The 12 points of BABIP is something, but the eye and the power are doing a lot more than the BABIP does. He's just kind of not really quite good enough, I don't think.
So here's where the eye and the power rule out, because his BABIP is 12 better against the righties. His gap power is 12 better against the righties. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times we've gotten Harvey Keane cards that can play lots of positions, which this might have been more interesting if this could play second or third. But as a shortstop, I don't think it gets there.
And one of the other bronze we got was the one you mentioned earlier, the Ray Ordonez. So, man, that's a lot of blue on defense. I'm going to let you take it away with this card here.
It's a lot of blue on defense, and this is the second best bronze shortstop of the set, behind a card I just said couldn't play shortstop. This bat is just too bad.
Wait, back up the train here, Isidafo. He's the second best shortstop behind a guy that can't play shortstop.
Yeah. This bat's just too bad. I mean, the defense is great, and this bat is just horrible, and you can't play him. Really, he's behind the three LDs I talked about. He's also behind other cards like Herman Long and Bronze George Davis VL and Nico Goodrum and like just a whole lot of stuff. Really, this isn't close to playable, I don't think.
I guess he wouldn't even qualify for probably dead ball tournaments where defense is probably more important. So,
no, I mean, certainly if you have Ozzie Smith, you never play this. But even if you don't have Ozzie Smith or Arky Vaughan or Kevin Stocker, I still don't think you should ever play this.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do a couple more, then we'll get back to trivia. Let's look at a couple irons. Wes Parker. Again, Charles would say no right away because of that eye and power. First baseman, you can train him in three other positions, so I don't know if that makes him more useful as a low iron. What do you think about Parker?
Well, it's a silver, actually, low silver.
Or silver, yes, low silver.
So I don't think this is great at first base. In the outfield, maybe it's interesting. I mean, this bat is sort of okay VR. And the defense is also fine. I think maybe in a corner it's okay, but it doesn't seem like an important card for low silver. And certainly in full silver, it's not getting there.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. The outfield might be a little bit of interesting if he's trained up. But I just think we're at the point in the game where there's so many good cards already out there that you're not going to overthrow every card that's out there already. And that's just, as a Dodger fan, as a theme team fan, if you play a lot of silver, maybe you find a spot for him once because he's fully trained in tournaments. But league play, yeah, probably not.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. No. Next silver, Kurt Bleffery. Charles loved the eye. Is it good enough?
This is definitely Charles's favorite card of the set. But yeah, I mean, I quite like this one too. I mean, this just seems like the best hitter in silver VR by actually really a lot, to the point that this probably plays up into low gold and maybe even full gold if you're kind of missing a card or two. This bat VR is just unbelievably good, and the bat VL isn't horrid either. Like, this is just
wow. See, I don't play silver, so I have no idea what's better in silver. I hardly ever look at silver cards, but for you to come out and say this by far is the best bat in silver versus right-handers, that's so I saw someone, Gabagoo, saying, should I sell my Ray Ordonez cheap? Maybe, But this one, if you grab them,
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of interest.
Definitely, this is one to get. If you play silver, you're kind of going to need this one. This card is just unbelievably good.
Is it going to make your PTCS gold? I guess you can't. You have to play gold, right?
You can't play in gold. Now, it's interesting PTCS and silver because there's no DH. So you're going to have to try to put him in the outfield in PTCS. And I don't know that he's going to be good enough in that format to play in the outfield.
Good point. So you kind of want that DH role for him. So a choice you're going to have to make in PTCS if you want to. I mean, he's going to be expensive because you just basically inflated his price now. Thanks.
Yeah, I may or may not have bought one before I said that.
What?
The
no insider information. There was no insider trading there. Isidafo did not say, "Hey, lap free, go get one on the card shop. Hurry, because we're going to talk about it." No.
It's true.
People from New York. All right. Oh, yeah. There was a little glitch there. You kind of cut off.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that. I had an internet.
Okay. What's the next one we have? We're into gold. So let's go back to our trivia. And before we get to some of the gold cards, and those of you in trivia, get ready. Here's your 5-second warning. We're going to go on to the next question. Mr. Ree has the overall lead approaching 100,000, and Mr. Audit. It's Mr. Day today. Mr. Ree and Mr. Audit. Okay. Ready? Here we go. Question number 8. Which of the following Grand Slam tennis tournaments is the last one to take place? The French Open, the US Open, the Australian Open, or Wimbledon? Easy, right? Easy.
Well, I mean, living in New York, certainly I'm well aware of one of these four.
Have you ever attended one?
Yeah, I've been a number of times. It's really quite fun.
Really? It's fun watching people hit a ball back and forth.
I very much enjoyed it. You can get a grounds pass. You stay there for like 14 hours.
14 hours.
Pretty good value, yeah. But you can. You
is it at a hot time of year in New York?
It can be. It depends on the year. Some years it's really hot. Some years it's not so hot. But actually, recently they've installed some new stuff that makes it more manageable in the heat.
Do you have a favorite tennis player?
Not really.
No.
Not really. But
it's like
a lot of fun.
Go McEnroe. Go John McEnroe. No.
Yeah, it's a little before my time, but.
Okay. But, go Billie Jean King. You know, is that still a little bit before your time?
A little. I mean, I know those guys, but I didn't watch them.
Well, you were quickest on that, and you're from New York, so that makes sense. Okay. So Isidafo, Fussmucker, and Sean Sol and Ezra Denny with 18,000 plus points on that question. Next up, I don't know if you mentioned it, Don't Cut the D-Block Dragon, but we talked about Formula One and German drivers. Which of these teams is not a member of the NHL's original six? Toronto, Boston, New York, or Philadelphia? Here's a Warbot question. Who is not part of the original six teams? And the question is, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you your hockey knowledge. You're on the spot. This is for not giving me advice, pre-warning about that Belfry card. Who are the other three original six teams?
I don't even know what the answer is here, but
it was not Vegas. It was not Seattle.
Not okay. I know not Vegas, and I know not Seattle.
I say who trying a ball, what team do you think of?
Well, I mean, okay, I think Detroit and Chicago.
Okay, good.
And then, oh goodness.
Oh my Dieu. Je suis.
Is it Montreal?
It is Montreal, the Habs, the Montreal Canadiens. All right. In this case, the answer was the Philadelphia Flyers. They came in, I think, in 1968, 69. The Broad Street Bullies won a couple Stanley Cups, and Isidafo's favorite team, and that's why he's not here today, because they lost the Sharks.
Yeah, Charles just couldn't be seen after that, I guess. It's too much.
No, I hope he bought a Flyers hat, because they were probably pretty cheap in the Walmarts yesterday. So hope he picked one up. KGP, Fussmucker, and Sean were the quickest there. Mr. Audit has taken the overall lead, and at the bottom, it is Pop Stangoria, still hanging out in last place. In San Jose, they got a mascot, and at the beginning of the game or when they score a goal, all the fans in the stadium go like this. Because it's the Sharks.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. That works, yeah.
And it's good exercise. Okay, next question.
It's like the Nationals, just all the time.
Yeah. How many scoring zones are there on a conventional dartboard? 62, 42, 82, 102. Do the quick math.
Oh, I can't multiply.
See, I probably would have made a mistake. I thought it was 3 for each number times 20 plus the bullseye and the one outside the bullseye. Or are there 4 for each number?
Well, now I'm thinking about it. That's what I did at first. I did 3 times 20 plus 2. But there are 4. I mean, there's 2 singles for each number. So I don't know if that counts as 1 or 2. It could be either 62 or 82, I guess.
I guess it counts as 2.
Yeah, I guess
the correct answer is 82. I would have, the inner and outer single, right. Yeah, Thistle Droid, the inner and outer single. So I would have guessed 62 like most people here.
Yeah. I guess you could argue there's another one for just the missing the board. It's not a scoring zone, I guess that's the problem. Just like missing entirely.
Yeah.
But,
Are you saying you missed the board quite a bit, or?
I'm not the best at darts.
Did you ever own your own darts with the nice feathers on the end?
No, I never did.
Never did.
I guess the walls were too precious. But
yeah, my parents would not allow a dart board in the house because there wasn't enough cork board around to.
You ruin the walls, you ruin the floor. It's just all around at that time.
They said you could put a dartboard in the unfinished part of the basement against the concrete wall.
Yeah, that's going to break the darts pretty fast.
Yeah, we didn't play many games after that.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Audit still in first. And Mr. E, I think they took that question off because their scores are exactly the same. So there's a little bit of strategy going on between the two. Okay, we're going to go back and talk about a couple more cards before we finish off trivia. So next up, let's look at a couple gold ones. And I think one that you mentioned to me to talk about was this Banzan. I don't know. How do you pronounce it?
Bonson, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I've heard of this player, and I've never actually had to say his name before. So
it's a New York Yankee. I really don't care. I don't care how
there
you
go.
It.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So what are you thinking? It looks again for the era. He's going to play in gold, isn't he? Isn't he a card you want on your staff in the PTCS?
I think in the PTCS probably yes, but it's actually I think this is a card that looks a lot better than it is. Like I verse right, this is one of the best starting pitchers, but this is actually a pretty splitty card. And this verse left is really not great. And I think once he faces lefties, he might not even make a full gold rotation. It's really a very splitty card, and one that's kind of interesting because if you can get the righties, then this card is excellent. And if you can't, it's not great. So
what is the gold meta right now for hitters? Is it pretty split, or does it favor lefties or righties?
It's reasonably split. There are, I mean, pretty much always there are going to be more righties than lefties in almost every format, just because there's more right-handed hitters in the game than left-handed hitters. But this one, the gold is pretty balanced, actually.
Okay. So PTCS, take a chance on it, but do you put him in the bullpen then?
I mean, in PTCS, it's definitely better than it is in Modern. It's not better than Boom Boom Beck, certainly, in that, I wouldn't think.
How about Urban Shocker or Slim Love?
It might be better than some of those kinds of guys. It really depends what you're going for. Like if you're going for righties, lefties, 3 starting pitchers, 2 starting pitchers, like there's a lot of ways to build pitching staff in the open PTCSs. Some of them will start, some of them will be independent. Some of them might not even make the roster, I guess, in theory.
Well, we do have the best gold tournament player in the house right now, Mr. Audit. And maybe we should ask Mr. Audit, like, Mr. Audit, is this a guy you would add to your gold rotation? Or are you pretty happy with the guys you have already? Yeah, you, Mr. Audit. Don't play coy with me. Don't play what, me? Good at gold? I lose to you all the time in gold. The Golden Girls. I mean, there's a reason why your team is named the Golden Girls. It's not because you like the TV show. You're good at gold.
There you go.
There he goes. He said he would. So he would probably play this pitcher as part of his goal. Okay. So again, someone to look out for in your packs when you're opening them up. There will be some gold players looking to pick up Boson. Let's look at a couple diamond Aussie LBs. Second base, 1 positional player, low diamond, very splitty. Is he good enough? Or who would you compare him with? Who might be slightly better? Who might be slightly worse?
I mean, the sort of most clear comparison, I guess, is to the 92 Anthony Rendon, who is a limited card. I think it's 80 copies, if I'm not mistaken. No, not 80. It's because it's multiple 10. Maybe it's 80. I don't know. It's a decent number of copies. So a lot of people playing with Diamond will have that card. And it's substantially worse than that card. I actually just don't think this card really ever plays. It's probably worse than like the new tournament Brett Boone and things like that. Like it's just not good.
Sorry, Gabagoo. I mean, I did watch the Golden Girls. I'm going to admit it. I did watch the Golden Girls. I can name them all. There was Maud, Edith Bunker, Marion Cunningham, and Estelle Getty. Right? Weren't those the 4 Golden Girls? Elf. Someone mentioned Elf. And Brydav did pull the gold card we talked about and said that he's going to give him a shot. So, okay.
We do have a very important question in the chat. What moving border should I have tomorrow for the Warbot stream? So,
you mean for your profile personally?
I guess we're gonna all move all over the screen tomorrow. That seems to be the plan.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see a Statue of Liberty with your head at the top. There you go.
All right, New York, that works. That works.
New York Statue of Liberty holding the torch because Isidafo holds the torch. He was the what were you called out for today on TWIP? You won what? Which week did you win today?
Oh, I won weekly, I think.
Weekly?
I think I won weekly last week.
I heard your Florence Baycats and thought that you deserve to be on the Statue of Liberty.
I had a pretty solid week of weekly, so I think if it's anyone.
And your kidneys, we missed you earlier. We had a Yu-Gi-Oh question as part of our trivia. Okay, one more card, and then we'll go back and finish off the trivia. Tommy G. Again, outfielder. High for a fairly high range. Low diamond. Got some speed, but I would assume there are a lot of high or low diamonds out there that you're going to play above this guy.
Yeah, I don't think this one plays either. I mean, you still have cards like the PTCS Jim Edmonds and the new PTCS Ray Lankford that are quite a lot better as two ways, and as a VL card, you're probably not going to platoon, and even if you do, there's Rondell White or BJ Upton or other things.
How about in the PTCS, because he does qualify? Is he?
He's probably more interesting there than in Modern. But PTCS is full diamond and there's no low diamond, so he has to compete against a lot more stuff.
Okay.
I'm guessing he won't play there either.
AG. I'm seeing different pronunciations. AG is how you pronounce
AG,
this one.
okay.
Not
Thanks, everyone.
Aggie or AG. AG. Okay. What do we got? Let me see how many more cards we have. We got 3 more diamonds, and then we'll come back and do the perfects. We've got this new limited edition that Dish announced today, the Mike Hampton 96. I mean, and he's a pitcher. I've only got the batting on here, so I didn't get the pitching ratings. So I was looking at this going, this isn't a very good batter.
you didn't miss much on the pitching ratings.
Okay.
They're not that good. This is probably the best hitting pitcher we have by some distance, except for the 2A guys. But still, just even no DH, I don't think you'll ever play this.
Okay, and doesn't qualify for PTCS because it's 1999. So you'd have to find a no DH kind of format to take advantage of that batting.
Yeah.
Joe Black, if that is his real name, Joe Black for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who even EBC said he didn't. I think this was the card he said he didn't know much about. Joe Black looks pretty good against the righties, Isidafo.
Yeah, the right first right is okay, but it's still not the best first right. I mean, there's still this Ryan Presley card that's kind of been around for some time now. It's actually better both for righties and lefties than this. So I think maybe this kind of can squeak in the back end of the bullpen right now, but it's a card that will last for maybe a week at best.
Okay.
Yeah.
So use him now if you got him, because there may be other cards that come around.
I mean, even right now, it's a borderline card, so definitely not one to go out and get.
But much more playable than if he was 100, right? 100,
oh yeah,
he would be in the conversation.
If this were 100, he would be completely unplayable.
And yeah, I don't know if he was related to Jack Black. I have no clue if he was related. All right, let's finish off the trivia, and then we'll look at the perfects. There were some new cards that were released today as well. You gave me a list here. So those of you that are unaware, there's a Jim Tobin, a JoJo White, a Mickey Mantle, a Kid Elberfield, and a Paul Wainer. In a spotlight pack, it would be this one. Zach Britton looks like a solid reliever, huh?
Yeah, I mean this is the best left-handed reliever now by quite a lot, and it's actually sort of interesting to note that this has at least what we think are the maximum values you can have displayed for home run and PBABIP versus lefties. So really, the only thing that's missing here is some control. But this is sort of just like a better version of Aroldis Chapman. It has a little less stuff, but it doesn't really matter that much. At that point, the stuff really kind of doesn't do a lot. And it has, better VR and a little bit more VL.
So the other top closers like Eckersley and Gagne, they're righties, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So this, really, really an excellent card.
All right. Next up, we've got Jim Katz from 1966, the Minnesota Twins, and I love that. I love the old Twins logo there. Again, looks to me like a must-have card probably for the PTCS. Am I correct in that?
I don't know, actually. I think so in Perfect League, this is definitely not a must-have card. In fact, I think this doesn't make the rotation for a full Immortals team. It is interesting that this is a lot more defense than basically any other pitcher we've ever had. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if that does anything. I doubt it will, but who knows? For PTCS, it's definitely a bit better because the control is going to play up more, and the lack of stuff is not as important. The thing is that dead ball squishes pitching so much that even if this is an upgrade, it's at best kind of going to be a small upgrade probably. And not a card that you should go out and spend, a few 100,000 points on, even if you're buying it for PTCS in all likelihood.
Again, does he play better in the bullpen because he gets that stuff boost?
He actually will not get much of a stuff boost because he doesn't have any really strong pitches and his velocity is pretty low.
Oh.
So this is probably a card that's kind of in Perfect League in sort of a bullpen rotation where you're just like cycling guys in and out based on fatigue, but I don't think this is the starter really.
Yeah, we didn't mention that in the beginner segment, but you mentioned going to the bullpen, you get that stuff boost, but also when you put a starter in the bullpen, they only look at their 2 best pitches. So you want to make sure you have a pitcher that has a couple quality pitches, and Jim Cat simply doesn't.
Yeah, I think by the way, it's not only the 2 best, but it is primarily the 2 best. As far as I understand it, in Out of the Park, more pitches are never bad. Like it's never worse to have more pitches than fewer pitches. Like they always add some amount of stuff.
Dogberry, I agree. That Britain 88 gold card in Perfect Team 19, the first version of Perfect Team that came out. Ooh, that was a hot card.
Keuchel 86. That was the real PT19 card.
Which one?
The 86 Dallas Keuchel. Back in PT19, really? Movement was the only rating that mattered, and this gold 86 Dallas Keuchel was like a top level starting pitcher. It was sort of funny.
Yeah, it's been so long. I can't remember what the good cards were back then.
Yeah.
Couple more hundreds on the batter scale here. We got Nolan Arenado, a couple Colorado fans. So I'm so happy for the Colorado fans out there, because they get a couple perfect cards that, especially again, if you're doing a Colorado themed team or just the enjoyment of the players, you get a little joy in looking for these in packs. 105 range. I know you don't place a lot of value on third base. I know. But where are the comparisons? It's definitely not a George Brett. I don't even think it's a Mike Schmidt, maybe in the Mike Schmidt range.
It's probably similar to Schmidt. The problem for this card is that Troy Gloss exists. And the Brett Gloss platoon is it's the way at third. It's still the way at third. Arenado doesn't come close to touching either one of them. So really, this is
A-Rod.
A-Rod is kind of in the budget category now, along with Schmidt. And this is going to be similar to those. So this is kind of a budget card. If this comes down to $50K, $75K, okay, maybe you can think about it. As a top level option, it's not really close to being there.
Yeah, Glouse and Brett, obviously, platoon that you're looking for there. And the last one, I know people in the chat on Twipt were kind of, looking to see, okay, does this Helton card compare to the Dan Brothers? And here as a refresher is that Dan Brothers card. Lots of blue, very good against the righties. And here is the Todd Helton card. Again, very good against the righties.
Hold on, I might be able to pull up a comparison if you give me a second. Why is the game so slow?
Again, first base. So in tournament, the defense isn't as important. In league, it might be a little bit more important. So as a DH, is even in the conversation.
So I don't. This is an interesting card. So yeah, I can pull up here if we want to do a comparison. I can pull it up.
Okay.
I gotta share my game.
Do you own Todd Helton already?
No, but I'm in Perfectly right now, and some people do.
Oh, okay. Some people have them already, huh?
Yeah, because they're ripping spotlights. So here's the comparison. And really, I mean, mostly we're just focused on this VR mainly. And you can kind of see it's not really close, actually. Brothers is just a lot better. It's 15 points of I for 9 points of power, and then a little bit of BABIP and gap. BABIP on Brothers' side too. So Brothers is a lot better hitter. It's not actually all that close. Helton is, I think, at the moment the third best VR hitter behind Brett and Brothers. But what that kind of means is he just is a DH only, and then as soon as any other card comes out, he's immediately out of the meta.
So his biggest use then is in like an OOTP era kind of format, because he would qualify and be the best in that format.
Yeah, certainly in that kind of a format, he'd be very good. And even right now, I mean, he's the best DH option. If you're, he played first, and Brothers would play DH, I guess, but he would make a full build right now. But again, this card, the Helton has much less lifespan than Brothers does. If you're going to have to pick one, definitely go for Brothers and not Helton.
And, at this point, probably Brothers might be a little cheaper to get on the card shop too, because new cards.
Yeah, I mean, these spotlights have such a small card pool that actually Helton is not that expensive.
Oh, he's not? What's it going for? I can't quite see that. 325?
250 is the L10. And this will come down as people will spotlight. I bet this card will end up costing between 150 and 200 by the time we get to Saturday.
So at that point, is it worth to pick one up or still not?
If you're in perfect league, maybe. If you're not, I don't think so. There's no reason not to just wait for next week when it'll be even cheaper.
I guess his spotlights kind of carry over for a couple weeks. So yeah, his price might go down. I guess I'm just thinking for the people that play a lot of era tournaments that he clearly is the best for that type of tournament.
Yeah, there is one OOTP daily. If you play that, it's definitely a card you're going to want. Otherwise, I think probably the thing is that in tournaments, my guess is Ted Williams is also better than Helton. In league, it's not the case, but in tournaments, probably he is because his BABIP isn't messed up. And then Helton has limited viability outside of OOTP era. So,
all right. Well, before we look at the newer ones that were released that I was unaware of, what is your card of the set? Which card are you most forward to kind of testing out, using, seeing how it plays?
So it's actually a card I think we didn't look at yet, which is this bronze Dontrell Willis. Who's an interesting one. And I don't entirely know how well he's going to work. Because he is a bit splitty and he doesn't have a lot of PWAP or control. Oh, I can pull him up. I should do that. That would be a good idea, huh? This card here.
Oh, did you go out and buy him already?
No, I haven't bought one yet, but it's a bronze. It'll be cheap. It's an interesting card. It's very splitty. You see, there's low PWAP and low control, but this home run VL is a lot. It is a lot of stuff. There's even home run VR, a lot of hold runners. I think this card is probably pretty good in bronze, but I'm not sure. And it's splitty enough that it's going to be interesting to try to use it well.
So because he's so splitty, if you're saying probably good enough to use in bronze, you're probably talking bullpen because of the splittiness?
No, I think as a starter, actually.
Oh.
You could certainly use him in the bullpen too. That would be, he would convert decently there. But I want to try to actually make this work as a starter, I think.
Right. So bronze starter, and he does not qualify for the PTCS. So you can't use him there. I think I might have, let me bring up the bigger picture of that one there. Dontrell Willis, this one right here. There we go. So those of you that are unfamiliar with the card, that's what he looks like here. Pitcher BABIP, as a bronze tournament player, that pitcher BABIP scares me though.
Yeah, it's a lot of pitcher BABIP, but I mean this home run really is very important, and the stuff helps the PBABIP a bit. Because
a lot of your best hitters are lefties, right? Isn't Joey Gallo and
yeah, I mean we can get cards like Ethier and stuff out of the lineup, and that's nice for sure.
Instead of a home run, though, they might get a walk.
They might get walks. Yes, they might get walks. But I mean, Ethier is kind of just the best hitter in bronze by so much that probably you're just kind of happy to not have him in the lineup.
Well, and for me, my cards of the set, I always like the lower level cards. I like the bronze. I don't think we got any iron today. So, any bronze that can make my team, it won't be the Ordonez, probably won't be the Kuhn. So yeah, there none that really jump out as a card I want to immediately play on my teams. Of course, I like the love given to Todd Helton, getting a really good card. And you mentioned the Zach Britton, but yeah, this is 1 week where I don't see, okay, I got to go get that right now to put on my bronze team or on my gold team. Maybe the gold pitcher that we talked about earlier. Who was that? That was
Bonson, probably.
Yeah. Maybe this one. Yeah, this will probably be my card of the set because it's a card that I'm going to try out on the recommendation of Mr. Audit. I'm going to
All
try
right.
that out on my gold teams. And for my PTCS gold, I might try it out too. Well, it is that time to see who has to buy a 26,000 perfect point pack. Are you up for the challenge?
I can't go worse than last week, so let's do it.
You call it, heads or tails.
I called tails last week, and I think I won, so I'll call tails again.
Okay, the coin is a flipping. All right, the home, was it the no? I think the away team won last week. What do you want to do? Do you want first at bat or last at bat?
Well, was I? I think I was away last week, wasn't I? I think I was away last week.
No,
I did not go well.
Yeah, because I was home because I had to. I didn't have to do my last at bat.
Yeah. So I'll be the home team this week, since I just gotta change things. Can't have that happen again.
All right. Well, I'll give you a chance to get your packs ready there. Again, as you can see on the screen, Isidafo and I will assign points to different packs. And Pops Dongoria is one of the winners today. You get to choose the mystery number, any number between 40 and 99, that if we happen to hit any of those in our packs, we get 1 point or our overall score. So Pops Dongoria, if you're still around, throw a number in the chat there. And I'm just going to bring up my team here. We're going to use the Town Stream theme team. 55. Okay, so Pops is giving us a pretty easy target
55.
here.
Okay.
55. So if we pull a perfect or LE at 7 points, a diamond is 5. Card from today, Baseball Reference 4, is 4 points. Any gold card, 2 points, and any card with a 55 as the score is 1 point. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. Right, let's do it here. Who are you throwing out on the mound today? Who's your pitcher of choice?
Oh boy. I don't own a Silver King, otherwise that might be the option. But maybe. Bumgarner is my best pitcher in Perfect League this week, so let's go with him.
All right, I'm gonna go with the new Jim Cat. Jim Cat is my pitcher.
All right.
All right, and my screen showing right now, I think. Yep. Okay.
Looks like it.
Pack number 1. Top of the first inning. Looking for a 55, a gold, a diamond. And your Bumgartner is starting off the game well. Let's go to the bottom of the first.
All right. Here we go. That's at least 1 gold. All right. 55. At least I got a point this week.
An error by second baseman Alfredo Griffin. And you get on the board with the 55. Thanks, Pops. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Yes. The Cal Quantrill came through with the
top of the second inning. Bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, not much there.
Right. What do you got?
Not a lot.
51 would have been a good number.
Yeah, that would have been helpful this time around, huh?
All right. After 2, it's 1-0 for Isidafo. Let's open up the next one here. Come on, 55. No, we got a 54. None of us have hit. Oh yeah, you hit a live silver, I think. Otherwise, that's been it.
Yeah, it's not been the best so far.
Pitchers duel next, bottom of the third.
No Britain, no Silver Kings, no.
If you hit a Silver King, that's going to be incredible. Then you're going to sell it to me for 20,000 perfect points.
Yeah, I think I might hold on to that one for the PTCS.
You might use them in the PTCS?
I think so. I would use it in the PTCS. Nothing here, though.
No,
just a bunch of bronzes.
No cards there, just a Aaron Sanchez. So 1-0 in the third inning. Baumgartner still in the game, of course. Let's see if we can hit him up here. 246s, 244s, a 62. Man, I don't even have a hit here because I don't have a silver. A silver
Yeah,
is
this
at
is,
least a hit.
Not a lot.
Bottom of the fourth.
$53, $54, silver, no points though.
You got a hit on the board, but not another run. So
Is this
after
worth
four,
anything?
it is one.
Nope.
1-0. All right, chat. Come on, chat. Put some emotes in the chat. Come on, let's get the vibe going here. I gotta beat Isidafo. We can't have it ending 1-1. I won last week. We got to have a sweep here.
I mean,
here we go.
2 weeks in a row of just miserable pulls. Really, really not.
Yeah.
Not great.
Well, mind you, you won for losing. Pulling.
I did win for losing. I did win for losing with the Eckersley. That's true.
Okay. 40. Oh, I got a hit.
A
At
silver.
least the
Okay.
no hitter is gone. We got a silver. One hit. All right, Jim Cat, give us one more strong inning here. Shut him out.
All right. Oh, another 55. All right.
I think
Nice.
your 440s cancel that out.
Yeah. This is not a very good pack, but
you're getting some cheap runs here.
It's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's just, Jim Cut's fielders are too in awe of his fielding, and they're making errors because they're scared or something. I don't know.
All right, we go to the 6th inning. It is 2-0. You keeping Baumgartner in?
Yeah, he's pitching well. Why not?
His stamina rating's down into the yellow area. You want to keep him in?
That's all right. We'll chance it.
All right, I gave you the chance. Wow, what a strong inning he had there.
Yeah,
almost a golf pack territory here.
Decent golf pack, yes.
Bottom of the 6th inning. Need to hold you down. Your last inning, Jim. Okay,
yeah.
good.
I'm not even getting historical runs, man. I'm just getting lives. It's
You couldn't script this any worse.
No, really, you couldn't.
No golds, no diamonds, couple silver lives.
Yeah. This is the streamer luck they always talk about, right? We're getting it now?
Yeah. I mean, as a quick sell, this is what, 50, 70 points?
Yep. It's a little above minimum, but
we are going to the top of the 7th. Baumgartner, he's creeping into the orange on the stamina slider. You keeping him?
Yeah, well, he can have one more inning. He can have one more inning.
Okay. You're not like the Toronto Blue Jays manager that pulls him after like 3 innings.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This is bad.
This is really bad.
Oh, jeez. Okay, we got the 7th inning stretch. Now, before you open it up, we're in the 7th inning stretch. I am doing so bad. I am backing out. This is my timeout moment.
Okay.
Team meeting in the dugout. Pull it together, guys. You didn't give Jim any run support. We're going to bring in Tom Hankey early in the bottom of the 7th here because we have no option. Okay,
you're up. The righty. I mean, I got to start pinch hitting now, right? That's right.
That's
the idea. Well, I got the only Nolan, so that should count for something.
Use him in PTCS, I dare you.
Yeah, I don't think I will.
All right, we go to the 8th inning. On 2 cheap errors, Isidafo has a 2-0 lead. We called the timeout. Baumgartner's into the red now. You keeping him?
No, I think you're gonna let's put in Gagne. I think I'm gonna put in Gagne.
He's going to his best reliever in the 8th. Okay, that's gonna cost you in the 9th. All right, here we go. Top of the 8th. I didn't even get a Pops Dongoria charity card. I've got one hit. I've got one silver live. It's a one hitter.
Yeah,
as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, we're taking out Hankey. We don't want to expend him. And we're going to put in, you know what? We're going to put in Roger Clemens, the perfect Roger Clemens, out of the bullpen.
All right. Let's see. Can he keep it up? Yeah.
Okay. I have a shot, chat. All I need is one gold. Like just
It's really ridiculous.
one. Just give me I don't know, Chris Sale. I'll take it. Okay. Are you going to keep Gagne in for the ninth?
Yeah, let's leave in Gagne. I think that's the way to do it. He has a decent amount of stamina.
Okay. Here comes a gold, 81, and a 55 iron.
Okay.
I need to take the lead going into the bottom of the ninth. Here we go, chat.
Not quite.
A one hitter. Well, I finished the ninth last week, so you got to finish the ninth. Let's see what you get in your last pack.
All right, here we go.
Just for fun.
I mean, that is really amazing.
You know what's funny is if Pops Dongoria, if we didn't allow someone to pick a mystery card, it'd be 0-0.
Yeah, it would be.
We actually going.
We got what, 3 silvers in 18 packs combined? I think
maybe 4, maybe.
I mean,
maybe. You know what? You got some more regular packs. We got to go until we get a non-55. I want to see how many innings this goes. Okay, right. Let's just test this out.
This is another silver. I might run out of. Oh, there we go. There we go. I was going to run out of space soon. Hit the card limit.
In the 11th inning, we get a Max Scherzer, and for you, chat, here you go. Max Scherzer. He's a duplicate. If you want him, cheapest on the card shop, $16.99. I'm just so happy. I got a gold after 11 packs.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I guess I have to buy the spotlight. Here we go.
I guess so.
And I have to sell off all but one card. So if I pull a couple diamonds, chat gets lucky.
All right. So what are we hoping for here?
My pack luck, I'm going to get a silver.
Yeah, if that's
anything, it'll be a live silver.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like last week, you're gonna get a good one. So,
oh, thanks for boosting my confidence. Okay, no, really, my intuition says it's going to be a goal. What do you think?
Oh, when you said you want to play Bonson, so you get a Bonson. That would work.
Hey, there we go. All right.
We already got all the junk out of the way earlier, so you don't even need to bother ripping a junk bag.
That doesn't deserve to be called even junk.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
And the gold, the perfect. Well, the good news is I got 2 silvers.
That's true. That Kirk Bavak was a very nice card. It's a useful card.
Well, this one's pretty valuable.
Yeah, that's a decent card. That's not terrible. You could have found a worse one to pull. But no
Are you gonna test your luck with a spotlight or no?
Oh, sure, why not? Let's do one.
I'm telling you, if you pull another perfect, I'm gonna reach through. And grab you and shake you around.
Boy, now this is gonna be tricky because I have to try to not open the other pack.
Ooh.
This might not be possible.
Oh, no, choice pack.
Oh, I got it.
There you got it. Okay, don't move the mouse. There you go.
Okay, Braden Looper. All right. Not bad. I mean, yeah, I'll take it. If anyone wants Steve Bilko, I'll sell that one.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's only Todd Helton.
Yeah, I mean, he might make my roster. I'm playing in a righty-favored park, so he might make I don't know. He might make it.
Well, we have the reverse streamer luck today because Isidafo. I mean, if that was pulled during the game, you would have blew me out 12-0.
Yeah, that one's worth a lot. That was what, 7 for the perfect plus 4 for the for the new
11 runs right there plus the two gold. So that's 15 runs in one inning.
Yeah, that's a good inning.
You know, can you feign a little bit of excitement there, Isidafo?
I got a good card. Woo-hoo.
Oh man!
I mean, it's not Silver King. It could have been Silver King. That would have been better.
It could have been the one card better that is in of the hundreds of cards. Okay, yeah, you make me feel much better now. Well, no, that was fun. I'm glad that one of us got something. I don't know if I've seen someone else pull a card like that on my stream before. I pulled a couple over the years.
I do. I was not on stream, but I will say I did buy another Spotlight pack last week after the stream, and I pulled a Gagne out of that one.
No, seriously, I can't have this guy on anymore. Seriously, he's just making me look bad with my packs. I get bronze live, iron live. Ooh, I got a silver live. Woohoo! 11 packs later, I hit my first gold. And this guy gets an Eckersley, gets a Gagne, and gets a Todd Helton. OOTP, can you do something about this? Can you work your magic?
There should be some kind of investigation or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do some investigating. Oh no! Congratulations. You pulled some pretty good cards, and although it might be good for you and for content, I'm not a happy camper.
I don't know how I fit in my roster though. It's not so easy actually.
You're in perfect league right now?
Yeah, I'm not doing great either. I should try to fit in probably, but I don't know how to do it. And my ballpark is, I'm playing in this Forbes Field, which is a pretty righty home run heavy park. So Helton does not fit great.
It will not be a theme team of the future, Fussmucker. It will not be. No. Well, I hope you guys.
The high five is hard. We did try the high five last week, and the high five is difficult to line up. Am I going the right? I don't know.
Well, Isidafo, as I said last week, thank you so much for coming on. Let me go to my main screen here. Those of you in the chat, congratulations again on the bounty winner. Congratulations on the trivia winner. It's been fun hanging out with you, Isidafo, the last couple of weeks. And if Charles comes out of hiding, then he will likely return next Thursday. Don't forget, enter a team in the TWIP showdown for tomorrow. Get your bonus drop packs on the stream and a few giveaways for some packs, some PT Plus memberships. And yeah, I'm going to go cry.
Well, sorry about that. That's,
All right. Thanks, Isidafo. Yeah. Go get Helton in your lineup and keep me updated on how he does.
Will do.
Okay. All right, chat. That is going to do it for me today. Thank you so much for those that dropped a follow on the stream today. If you're new to the stream, welcome. I stream a few times during the week, so hope to see you again soon. And of course, it's a great, no, it's not a great day for baseball. No, it's not a great day for pack pulling. It's still a great day for baseball. And we are going to go and raid into Dr. Dynastic, who is going right great content. If you still need some more drops, go check out Dr. Dynastic as we raid over there. Again, we're here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. Isidafo is. He's having a great time. He may not show it, but he's having a great time. All right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the TWIP Showdown. See you next episode.
Yep. Bye.
Share of tears. Every now and then it's gotta rain. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun can shine every day. We're here for a good time, not a long time, not a long time. So have a good time. The sun can shine every day. So have a good time. The sun can shine every day.